Alright, so I'm going to talk about shooting video today with the Fuji X-T2 and the Canon 5D4. For a lot of you guys, you're on the fence on what one of these systems do you buy into, the Fuji X-T2 or the Fuji system, the XF system, or the Canon EOS system. Now when you're thinking about video, Fuji's not really on anyone's mind. Everyone's thinking, well, it doesn't do this, or it's crop frame, or it doesn't have the color space that Canon does, or it doesn't shoot the same bit rate, or it doesn't shoot more than 30 minutes. And today I want to talk about the big differences between the X-T2 and the 5D4 and why you might want to consider the Fuji X-T2 and why this is becoming one of my favorite tools I have in my bag right now. So let's talk about price. First of all, the 5D4 seriously is a come to Jesus meeting. Like, you're spending a lot of money getting into the 5D4 system. The body alone is $31.99, and right now actually B&H has thrown in the battery grip. So for $31.99 you do get the body and the battery grip. That's of November 2017. But for $18.99 you can get a Fuji X-T2 with the battery grip. So that's a big price difference. You're talking about almost $1,500. You can actually get a Fuji X-T2 with the battery grip and another Fuji X-T2 and have two bodies instead of one 5D4. And honestly, if you're shooting video, having two bodies is better than one for a lot of reasons. Number one, if you're out on a job and a camera goes down, you're gonna wanna have two bodies. If you want two bodies and you only have a limited budget, you might wanna think about the X-T2. If you're just going for broke and you have the money for two 5D4s, then maybe this is something you think about. So let's break it down. So you're saying to yourself, of course the 5D4 costs a lot more money. It's a full frame sensor. It gives you that creamy bokeh. It's full frame. It's gonna give you that cinematic look. Okay, hold on. Yes, it's full frame in 1080, but it actually has a 1.74 crop factor when you're shooting 4K, which is actually smaller than the Fuji X-T2. A lot of people don't know this. They think, well, I'm gonna buy that Canon 5D4 so that I can shoot full frame video. But if you're shooting 4K and you're shooting 4K 24, the Fuji sensor is actually a lot better in the sense of space and the sense of what you're getting there. The 5D4, yes, it is a full frame sensor, but if you're shooting 4K, you're losing a lot to that 1.74 crop factor. So that's something to think about. Now I want to show you the differences that I'm going to set up the Fuji X-T2 with an 85-1.2, and I'm going to set up the Canon 5D4 with an 85-1.2 and show you the differences in what the crop looks like. And then I'm going to switch to the 35-1.4 for the Canon and the 35-1.4 equivalent, which is the 23-1.4 for the Fuji, and show you what that looks like on camera. Okay, so these cameras are actually on par as far as the bit rate they shoot. They both shoot 8-bit video. Now again, the X-T2 shoots a bigger sensor space. I know that's surprising for a lot of you guys. You're hearing that for the first time, but the 5D4 does have the 1.74 crop factor as of right now. Now there is supposed to be an update down the road. Is that coming? I don't know, but as of right now, this does have bigger sensor space. So shooting 8-bit, you're getting a little bit more out of the Fuji X-T2. Now, as far as the qualities of the 5D4 and the X-T2, I love the color space of the 5D4. It's one of my favorites. I started shooting video with the 5D2, but man, I'm loving the color space of the X-T2 as well, and you're gonna see that in the video. So both these cameras actually shoot log. Canon has their own version of log. It's called C-Log. Now it didn't come native in the camera. It was an upgrade later on, and it cost $100. My camera, as of right now, does not have C-Log, and I will not be showing that off. But come on, Canon, why didn't you just give us C-Log right off the bat? Like, you could have included it in the camera, or at least given us the free upgrade. Now, on the other hand, the X-T2 does allow you to shoot F-Log, which is their Fuji color space. Now again, you can't shoot that right in the camera. You have to shoot that outside of the camera via HDMI through a clean output. But you actually have to record to an external device. So honestly, again, I would say that they're really on par right out of the box. A $100 upgrade here. Now to shoot to an external device will cost you much more, to be honest, but you do have the ability to shoot F-Log down the road. So that is a little bit of a bummer if you're wanting to grade your footage, if you want to put a certain look on it, but the color space right out of this camera honestly is really beautiful. So I want to talk about glass when it comes to these two cameras. The 5D4 does have the L series glass, which I absolutely love. You guys, you know what it is. It's beautiful. But the XF seriously has some beautiful glass as well. So honestly, as far as glass selection, there's a lot more out for the Canon, but Fuji's coming out with glass constantly, and you're gonna see the differences in these shots as well. So let's talk about recording. You can actually record 30 minutes of 4K video with the battery grip on the X-T2. Now you do have to have the battery grip to shoot 30 minutes of continuous video. Now that doesn't bother me because the type of videos that I do, I'm not shooting 30 minutes at a time. But if I am gonna shoot 30 minutes, I do have to have the battery grip. On the other hand, the Canon allows you to shoot 30 minutes right out of the body without the battery grip. So you don't have to buy the battery grip when you're going to the Canon, but they both do shoot 30-minute video. All right, let's talk about size. Dude, carrying around the Canon, shooting with the Canon, it's not that big, especially when we're talking about shooting DSLR video, but it is a lot bigger than the Fuji. All right, so when you're talking about shooting video, this is a lot lighter, a lot easier to set up. It goes in my bag super easy, so I'm gonna give size to the X-T2. Carrying this around, shooting blog videos, shooting B-roll footage, this is just a great tool to have. Again, this isn't overly big, but once you put a lens like the 85-1.2 on it, it does get really big. Okay, so don't freak out, I didn't show everything I wanted to show, but I'm gonna be making a part 2 to this video. One of the things I didn't talk about when we were out shooting was the controls on the Fuji versus the Canon. I will say that Canon's been at this for a long time, and so the controls on the Canon, I really do appreciate. The fact that they have a dedicated record button is huge for me. The X-T2, the record button is actually the shutter button, so it's kind of weird going in and reaching for the shutter button as a record button, even though it makes sense. It doesn't, especially when you come from the Canon system. But besides that, the controls on the Fuji X-T2 aren't horrible. They're just not as easy to use, in my opinion, as the Canon. Thank you so much to all my subscribers. Seriously, I appreciate it. I'm gonna be coming out with part 2 really soon, so be sure and subscribe. Have a happy Thanksgiving.